Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with an anti-spoiler video, but this is actually going to be a game of StarCraft as well. So what I've... Excuse me, I just ate right before casting this. I had a little bit of a hiccup there. Like a burp hiccup, I guess. What would you call that? A burpee? I'm doing burpees over here, I guess. Anyway, so you can see this map. This is what is it called? Neo Halls of Valhalla, I believe. Neo Hall of Valhalla. And this is from 2001. So there is no VOD that I could find for the first game ever that YellOw and Boxer played, which was back in May of 2001. But I did find, this is the first VOD that I could find. This is from a game in 2001 in August. And I believe it's part of a group stage of the Coca-Cola OSL, one of the first OSLs. And so this is going to be cool. And I wanted to start, instead of starting right at the start of the game, I wanted to show you guys some of this early production stuff too. So you can see the early graphics that were going on. This was the height of graphics in the background that we're seeing right there. And this is how early this was. Look at this. These guys are wearing t-shirts. Guy in the middle sporting a polo shirt. And by the way, the guy on the left and the right were casters for many years, and I believe are still casters. The one in the middle I don't recognize, but that doesn't mean he's not still a caster. It might just be that over 20 years I don't recognize him anymore. But yeah, this is really interesting to see. See, it was a sci-fi game, right? And so they were trying to play in 2001, trying to play up this whole sci-fi thing. Look at the uniforms that these guys have to play in. Look at that! That's Boxer. He is 22 years old in this video, and I believe that's actually Korean 22, so he might be 21 or 20 in what we would call, what most people would know of as his age. Koreans count age a little bit differently, but I skipped over the pregame graphics just to save a little bit of time, but I looked through them and they actually spelled his ID wrong. That's how amateurish this was. This is so funny. And here is YellOw. He is 19, but again, he might be like 18. Look at these young kids playing StarCraft. This is amazing. But look at these crazy ghetto sci-fi uniforms with the weird fake foam wires on the sides of their sleeves, and they don't have team uniforms or anything like that. This is the old days, man. And this weird sci-fi thing in the middle, it's absolutely crazy. Anyway, so we're gonna get into this game between Boxer and YellOw, and yeah, so you can see on the screen there, this is game 3 of Group B. So this is the group stage of that OSL, and this is gonna be Boxer at the left side of the map in the red, and he's gonna be playing against YellOw, who is YellOw. YellOw is YellOw. Yes. It's very exciting. If you're just tuning in, it's very exciting because YellOw his name is a color, but he has not been playing as that color, and it's made it slightly confusing. Or in the case of JulyZerg versus YellOw, it was very confusing because it was a ZVZ, and so because one of the games JulyZerg was actually the color YellOw, so it was really yeah. Anyway, so anyway, I wanted to cast a game from the olden days, just to kind of give you, this is an anti-spoiler video, so instead of just having it be an empty video, I wanted to make it into a real video with a real game, and I thought this would be fun to go back as far back as possible in this rivalry, when these guys were not yet even really rivals. They'd only played a few times, and not very much, you know. And here they're showing the map as well, by the way. There's 2 spawn, it looks like they're spawning on 2 of the 4 spawn points. And, you know, this is a relatively normal-ish map, what you'd consider normal, with a natural expansion. It looks like there might not be a gas at the natural, though. I mean, the maps were so different in the old days, too. It's really, really wild, you know. These are the days when you had island maps, and over the years, you know, by 2008 or 9, the general trends in map design were pretty standardized. And so look at it, and people don't even know these maps, so they're like kind of pointing out the features of the maps. There's like these island expansions in between the bases as well. well, I guess it's kind of an island. It's like a low ground island type thing. I don't know what you would call that actually. A valley expansion maybe? But yeah, map design kind of got standardized, but back in these old days, they were still playing on some of these old sort of generic Blizzard design maps. I don't know if this one was designed by Blizzard, it probably wasn't, but like the early maps that Blizzard designed to come out with the game were not very great in terms of the way the games ended up being played. You can see in this case, like the minerals are not gathered right around the place where your main collection facility is, and so it makes it so that some of the patches mine less efficiently than others. So it's just kind of interesting how the little things like that have changed over the years and become standardized. Now they design maps with usually 8 mineral patches, or 10 rather, and they're all in an arc right around where your command center would go. Anyway, so it's just really kind of cool to see these older games, and even though I've been doing the MSL games from back in these old days, I only casted 1 or 2 games that were this far back. So this is going to be interesting to see, and plus the playstyle is going to be very different too. You know, even in 2004, the playstyle seemed very archaic, right? Back in 2001, it's going to seem even more so. But this is just a sampling. You know, maybe I'll try and do some more of these games from 2000, 2001, the really, really early days of StarCraft. But I am going to be I'm going to be very out of my element here because the play was so different back then. Look at what's going on here. YellOw has 3 hatcheries in his main base. And then a spawning pool, which means that I actually think this must be an island map, actually, because I thought there was a ramp to that natural, but it must be an island. Look, there's the tiny crowd in that little area there. This must be an island map, right? Because otherwise, why wouldn't he just go ahead and put one of his hatcheries down in an expansion there? I don't know. I thought I was looking at the graphic they showed at the beginning earlier, and it looked like there was a ramp or something like that to the natural, but I guess not. So anyway, we'll see. Boxer is getting a second barracks. He's getting a comsat station. He's gotten his academy. So, you know, if this was an island map, you would have seen a lot faster tech in the modern day, I guess. And so it's interesting to see that that's what's going on here. A spawning pool into Hydralisk Den and just all drones. There's no way he would just make all drones if this wasn't an island map, right? So, and of course, you know, as a Zerg player, you can build up your tech and then get your units later. Boxer building a bunch of Marines, because you can't just build a bunch of Marines later. You have to actually build them slowly, prep them over time, and so that's why we see him building these 2 barracks, getting out a bunch of Marines. Probably going to build a starport and get a dropship in order to move those Marines somewhere more useful. So, we'll see how this goes. There's the factory, and then the fact that the factory's right there too leads me to believe he's probably going to lift it off and float it as soon as it completes. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. He does have a comsat station, and I'm curious to see if he's scouted around, if he's used it to scout with at all. There's not really a way to tell, I guess. But there's the lair, and oh, no spire, it looks like. So it looks like we might be looking at some kind of a lurker drop tech is what might be happening right here. Curious to see if he has anything specially prepared for that. Academy's going, engineering base going. So now that he's got a lot of saturation on mineral patches, and he's sent out a vulture. Oh wait, did he? Oh, he floated the factory down to the low ground and then made a vulture. So that's how that vulture's out there. He didn't have a dropship. He just floated the factory out. So now this vulture can actually scout around and see what's going on in the rest of the map. That's very clever. And you can see at the top left corner, and probably all 4 corners, there are also island expansions with walls around them as well. But there is this broad middle area where we're going to see this vulture be able to walk or drive, float, amble all the way around the different parts of the map. For a second, I thought the kid in the back was petting the guy's hair in front of him. I thought that was a little bit odd. But it's like the meme video of the cat that looks like it's petting himself, and then you scroll up and there's another cat right there petting it. Anyway, now a spire going down. So this is really interesting. We've got a lot of Hydralisks out, and you know, I was thinking must be a lurker drop, but it looks like this is probably just 2001. and people don't know how to play StarCraft yet. And so he's probably just like, all right, well, I need to be prepared for dropships. So I'm going to get Hydralisks, because if he comes in with air units, Hydralisks attack the air. Of course. Duh. Excuse me, still like kind of hiccuping, still doing burpees over here. In any case, looks like he's made a science facility really quickly. Oh no, oh look at this. Look, oh, he's got a flat screen and everything. That was pretty hype back in those days. I think it was a flat screen. Anyway, dropship is out. He made a science facility as well. Possibly for +2 weapons. Might be going for +2 weapons instead of 1/1 weapons armor. Might be why he got... Well, actually, wait, crap. Yeah, no, the science facility... Do you need this? Oh, I actually can't remember right now if you need the science facility for level 2 or for level 3. I think you just need it for level 3. Oh man, this is embarrassing. I'm not remembering that off the top of my head right now for some reason. Anyway, but he's got 2 dropships out, so it doesn't matter. And the science facility is possibly just also make a vessel after this. Anyway, by the way, thank you. When I do have confusing moments like that, I appreciate that people have been like commenting and clarifying, and I've been pinning those comments. So hopefully that's helpful. That when someone corrects me, I pin the comment so that we can all know what's going on. And actually, so he is actually moving the Hydralisks out with a slow Overlord drop out onto the main part of the map. He's made a couple Scourge with the Spire now, and there's the speed upgrade as well. And this is all Hydras, ladies and gentlemen. This is no Lurkers. This Overlord is coming in to scout just to see what's the situation here. He's going to lose that Overlord, but he's going to scope out the lay of the land first. So he has a nice landing zone for the drop, and oh my god, he could lose everything right here. Oh no! Oh no, the Marines are onto it. The Scourge come in and actually slow down the Marines for just a moment. That may save 1 or 2 Overlords. He's going to try and get underneath the Overlords. He gets 1, and that is it. Just a single Overlord, but that Overlord was probably full of 4 Hydralisks. So that was a pretty big pick-off, actually. I mean, although Hydralisks are pretty terrible against Medic Marine anyway, so this is crazy. Anyway, a couple medics have been stranded here. The Overlords are looking for another route into the base. Boxer is kind of on top of it and is searching around, trying to keep track of those Overlords to make sure that they do not get a drop into his base, because he has now dropped all of his units out of his base. And so he doesn't have a lot in his base to actually deal with those Hydralisks. Even if Hydras are bad against Medic Marine, if they only have a few Medics and Marines, then it's going to be pretty good. Numbers are a better counter than a counter is, you know, basically. Anyway, we do have Boxer sending 2 dropships across the map right now, going for the main. YellOw has used his Overlords to drop off drones, at least 1 drone to make an expansion, and it looks like might be thinking about getting another one at the 12 o'clock base. We'll have to see. Overlord's coming over here and scouting, just kind of see what's going on, see if there is any drops coming in. It's in a good spot to notice that. And Boxer is just going to go ahead and fall back, actually, with those dropships. A little bit surprised. A little bit surprised to see that he's actually falling back there. And more Overlords are going around the map here. Oh, the Scourge are trying to intercept! The Scourge! Oh, no! No! The Scourge run move command instead of attack move. But it might be too much enemy. He does get both dropships! Oh, no! What an absolute catastrophe for Boxer. I think those were full of Marines and a couple medics, because look at the Marine count on the low ground. It's much lower than it was before. Actually, there's some up to the north. But why would you... I'm not sure, actually. Why would you use dropships to scout when they're empty? I just have to imagine that those were full, right? Either way, even empty, losing 2 dropships is a huge deal on an air map. And so that is really, really bad, because now Boxer doesn't have anything to ferry units out of his main into the rest of the map or anything along those lines. So very interesting to see that. YellOw has decided to drop off those Hydralisks kind of just in the midst of the map, by the way, instead of keeping them in the Overlords. Well, actually, there might be another group of Hydralisks. And it's just kind of roaming around with them, trying to maintain some map control. Boxer has floated a command center down to this low ground to make a second base. And it's a mineral only is what it looks like I suspected. There's some Scourge again. Man, at first I was like, those Scourge missed their opportunity. They were on move command, and they didn't go after the two dropships, even though they flew right by them. But then they were able to turn around and still pick them off just before the Marines came in to save the day. So there's that third base at the 12 o'clock position that I was thinking about. Dropships, Boxer has another dropship out, and 2 more dropships out, actually. And he's loaded up at least 1 tank, and 2 more tanks, and it looks like, okay, I thought he was going to go after the 12 o'clock position with those. Look at the fog machine! There's fog coming out of the console! That's, oh my god, that's amazing. That is amazing. Why don't they should do that? I mean, it's a little over the top for these days, I guess, but that's just so funny. It's like, you know, Halloween in the middle of, and these matches were often played in I don't know where this particular one was played, but like often played just in like random spots, like in a mall, like there's just a clearing in a mall or something like that. When I was casting for in Korea, the studio has moved since then, but the on GameNet studio was in Yongsan. It was at the top floor of a mall, so you actually had to walk through a mall, and it was actually it wasn't even a corner of the mall. It had its own floor on the top of the mall for this whole studio, TV studio, which was pretty cool actually. Which was just kind of fun though, that you'd have to walk through all of these display areas with people selling like at the second to last top floor was like all like mobile phones and tech stuff. So we'd always go and get off the elevator there and then walk through the mobile phone stores, displays, and because it was more like booths and stuff. Sorry, this is kind of random, I guess, describing the Yongsan Mall to you guys, but hopefully it's a little bit interesting to hear about this stuff, because right now we're just waiting for these players to finish posturing and actually attack each other a little bit. But yeah, so it wasn't like stores, it was like a wide open area with like booths with like tables and stuff, and so people were just selling mobile phones and stuff, and you walk through those, and oftentimes we'd walk through those mobile phone areas to get to this little restaurant that was on the floor right below the studio. And hold that thought though, we got lurkers coming in, boring right next to these tanks. He's going to be able to pick them up into the dropships, but the Hydralisks might pick off the dropships. They do get one. Are they going to get another? The Marines are coming in now to help out, but the tanks are not actually exiting to help out with this fight. Now they do, but it's a little bit too late. But Medic Marines are just too strong against the Hydras. Only 2 lurkers there to assist with the killing of the Medic Marines. He needs to target them down, though. He does have a scan, and it looks like Boxer is going to eat through all of the Hydralisks and finishing off the lurkers after all of that remained. So finally we're getting some action. Finally we're getting a major battle between these 2 players meeting each other right now. Boxer is moving his force up to the top right. It looks like he's going to try to shell this expansion. He's got 1 siege tank left. He lost 1 or 2 in that earlier exchange. 1 just died inside the dropship. Now he's got this 1 left, and that is going to be more than enough, though, to be able to stop mining at this base, basically. He can mine a few minerals on the opposite side, but he's going to stop the gas from mining. That is crucial. But look at all these lurkers morphing in Yellow's main, right next to all those overlords, ready to pick them right up and drop them in some dangerous places. Anyway, Boxer running some more dropships across the map. Now, are these empty dropships that he's going to use to ferry those troops up, or are they actually full and he's going to use the low ground troops to protect the dropships on high ground? Okay, he's got tanks. That's what's in the dropships. More tanks in play to make sure he kills off that hatchery as quickly as possible. The lurkers coming in from the top, and they have no backup, and they just get actually really badly injured just on approach. Boxer does have vision of the high ground with the dropships there, but not actually vision of the cloaked units. And finally, he does scan and kills off those lurkers. So a bit of a waste of those lurkers. And again, you know, that's the kind of thing that, oh, and actually it looks like some Hydralisks were attacking this command center over at that third base location. Nicely done by YellOw, countering the attack on his second with an attack on Boxer's third, stopping Boxer from getting a second gas. So now YellOw is in a good spot. He's got that 12 o'clock position still. Well, maybe not, an okay spot, we'll say. We'll say an okay spot. Boxer's now running some of his forces back across the map. Not entirely sure why. He's not under any threat right now. I guess he's just like, all right, well, killed that hatchery off, time to go home. But anyway, I was saying, like, this is This is 2001 StarCraft, ladies and gentlemen. Lurkers running up, just bare, right next to a bunch of medic marines and tanks without any cover. No swarm, no zerglings, no mutalisks to help them out. Just running up and dying. And YellOw is, you know, one of the best players in the game right now in 2001. So it's just kind of interesting to see how the game has definitely progressed over the years. Just in terms of what people thought was possible, you know. Anyway, so we're seeing the upgrades here, and it's hard to read that. We're seeing +1 armor for boxers, medic marines, and did I see +2 or +3 weapons? It's hard to tell with the pixels on this, but he definitely had more weapons upgrades. We'll see if we can get a look at the upgrades for YellOw at some point. Quick zoom in on Boxer, looking intent. And now he's dropped some marines down onto that base, onto that island base, to protect it so that he can land it again there and start mining from that without fear. And here comes a huge attack. This is the Swarm Jurg, ladies and gentlemen. Tons of units coming in, Hydralisks and Lurkers, and he just has too much stuff. Boxer's units are spread out around the map. Remember, there is almost 24 Marines on the low ground, completely impotent in this battle right now. And YellOw has all of his forces in one place. He's able to run in, this time with the Hydras to support the Lurkers. So the Lurkers don't just dying by themselves. In this case, he actually has the support units, and he's able to keep the Lurkers alive enough to get them in close and do the damage. And that was a large force he just ran in with there. You know, that's why YellOw's nickname was the Storm Zerker, because of, you know, remember, this is early days, and it was probably not often that you saw a player that had the ability, which we now consider commonplace, to control lots of units in a coordinated manner like that, because, you know, running those Lurkers earlier just by themselves was a little bit amateurish, but that attack was very, very well coordinated. So in any case, we have him going after the gas mine here. He's going to go in for a drop on top of these bunkers as well. Boxer is building extra bunkers. He pops the Marines out to stim them and then run them into the bunkers so they don't take as much damage. And it looks like that is just doomed to fail. Dropping 8 Hydralisks on top of, you know, 2 bunkers and a tank with a tank to back up is not going to work. But he at least bought time, though. He bought time where that tank was not firing at his Lurkers for those Lurkers to kill off that gas. And that's going to decrease the amount of high-tech units he's going to make, tanks and science vessels. Now, I'm pretty sure this is before the, you know, invention of the SK Terran style, meaning lots of Marines and lots of science vessels, and you use the science vessels as renewable energy, renewable attack forces to, you know, kill off Lurkers with the irradiates. And I don't think we're gonna, you know, we may see irradiate, but going for mass vessels off like 2 starports is probably not what we're gonna see in this game from Boxer. We've only seen 1 or 2 vessels just to kind of get scouting information, not as attack units. Now he's gonna come in here. Boxer has way too many units. There's no way YellOw can stand up to this. He's going to go ahead and drop on these tanks behind, but only 2 Overlords worth of units is not going to do anything. Boxer does fall back to his tanks to protect them with the medic marines, but then he's going to go right back to killing that hatchery. All these drones are going to be stranded and killed as well. YellOw down to 2 bases, but getting a 3rd in the bottom right. Oh, nice little pickup. He does pick up some of those drones in an Overlord. He's going to get them out. They're going to evacuate to mine another day. But Boxer is in really good shape right here. He's got 3 bases. His main might be mined out, actually, so that advantage might be a little bit delayed, as YellOw probably... Well, actually, no, it looks like YellOw's mined out his main as well, come to think of it on the minimap. We'll see in a moment when they click over. Yeah, so he's totally mined out. And we saw this Greater Spire morphing earlier, and I didn't mention it because I was too busy talking about something else, but... A single Guardian? Okay, now there's some more Mutalisks. Is he going to make a lot of Guardians here? Is what I'm kind of expecting. And that's really interesting. And I'm actually a little surprised he's morphing them in his main instead of running them out, like, say, to the middle of the map and morphing them in the middle or something like that. Yeah, so he's more, because they're so slow, it's actually easier. It's faster to run the Mutalisks out with a higher speed and then morph them where you need them. But maybe that's where he wants them. Maybe he wants them in his main so that he can start taking some of these bases around nearby his main or in the middle of the map. And I was going to mention earlier, we have seen YellOw running a lot of Overlords into Medic Marines. It's kind of interesting that maybe his form of scouting in this game to run Overlords around and kind of keep track of where the enemy is. Ooh, what's going to drop here? Is he going to drop something? Okay, I thought he was going to hide drop a drone out and hide a base in the top left corner. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is an air map too, so you kind of have to do that. In a ground map in 2020, you'd see players running Zerglings, kind of parking them around the map in order to gain scouting information about the rest of the map. So the Guardians are walking or waddling or floating, flying across the map towards this third base. If he can take out this base, it'll be a huge advantage actually going to YellOw. The Guardians are able to shell, don't have to worry about the tank fire, and we're going to find out in a moment if he actually researched to radiate because that vessel is not doing anything. And look at this. This is beautiful. He's got the Guardians spread out, and he's got a group of Hydralisks and Lurkers. I believe there's 1 or 2 Lurkers in that group, ready to back up the Guardians. So if the Guardians get attacked by Medic Marines, he can actually support them. Even a Scourge there for whatever reason, just might as well, I guess, right? Just in case there's Wraiths or something, maybe. Boxer has a lot of Medic Marines, though. I think if he just stims and attacks in, especially with those tanks, he might just be able to take that out. Oh, and actually, what is that? Where's that? Is that that's the bottom right. Boxer dropped the bottom right base while this was going on. Here he goes in. He's stimming in. He's going after the Hydralisks. The Hydralisks need to fall back to the Guardian fire. The Guardians have turned around, but there's only one Guardian actually attacking the Marines. He needs a united front with the Hydralisks and the Guardians attacking the same location against those Medic Marines, and he doesn't quite pull it off. Boxer, though, does fall back. He does fall back a little bit, and I'm not sure exactly why. And we're panning over the groups of, the array of barracks that Boxer has. There might have been a little bit of a glitch in this video. Why does it keep doing the same panning motion? Not sure what's happening with that. Does the observer have a... Does the observer glitched out? Where he's got like the left arrow key is stuck or something like that? They keep panning. They keep clicking to another part of the map and panning all the way to the left. Oh my god, in 2001, they didn't know how technology worked yet. The observer is broken. The casters don't know what to say. We can see on the minimap, Boxer's going for an attack on that top right base, but they can't move the camera. Oh my goodness! They can't move the camera! They can't move the camera to the right! Oh my gosh! They're gonna click on it, and it's immediately gonna... Oh wait! Oh, they fixed it! Did they fix it, or are they just like holding... I think they didn't fix it. They're holding down the right key now to counteract the fact that the left key is stuck. But now they have to hug the right side of the map. If they let go of it, it's going to scroll to the left again. Oh, this is StarCraft in 2001, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. There's the GG from YellOw as his base goes down. Sparing the observer any more embarrassment. YellOw's going to go ahead and unplug his trackball mouse from the computer. His PS2 trackball mouse that he used throughout this game. Boxer's gonna sit victorious in this weird ass chair with some sort of a sci-fi ball on the back of it, having to not breathe dry ice fumes from the sci-fi shenanigans going on in the middle of the table. That was amazing. Oh, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. I can't believe that happened. That's happened to me. That's happened to me where like something got stuck, and I've actually I've made a mistake of like even accidentally like not even realizing that I was holding down the key or something like that. So I've been there, and that's unfortunate, but That is really funny. And it's just interesting to see, like, look at this again. These guys are in t-shirts. You know, the main guy is in a polo that's the same color scheme but doesn't quite match. So they're kind of creating an array here. But later on, you know, they'll be wearing funny-looking suits or sometimes nice-looking suits. And I say that funny-looking suits because I wore the funny-looking suits when I was in Korea as well. And it's part of the show, you know, so it's not a bad thing necessarily. But it's interesting to go back 19 years. 19 years. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people who were born after this game was played who just voted in the United States presidential election. That's how old we are. All right. Anyway, so that's going to do it for this game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. GG. I hope you guys got a kick out of that as well. And yeah, so that's, again, this is just an anti-spoiler video. I hope you enjoyed it regardless. And we got the third place match coming up and then the finals for this Star League that we're doing. So that should be fun. Anyway, take care. Thanks for watching.